All right, next up we will have wide receiver Elijah Sarratt. We'll start with
Recording
Zach,
in progress.
and then go to Mike.
I guess just, early on we've asked you, it feels like a lot this season about sort of week to week. Is it man? Is it zone? What are the tendencies and coverage you see in the opponent? What do you see out of Miami and maybe the way that they're going to approach receivers at your position, at least what you can expect?
Yeah, from what we've talked about, what I've seen, they're mostly zone on the year, cover 4, cover 2, but they do run man a lot as well. I say that's the second coverage, cover 1. There are a lot of one high safeties most of the time, so they changed up between them. But from so far, it's either like cover 4, 2, or 1. Coach Heatherman, my brother actually, knew him, played with them at JMU, speaks highly of him, so I'm sure it's going to be a challenging one. He's been having those boys flying around, so I'm sure they'll mix a couple coverages up, but it'll be a good one.
Yeah, Elijah, I want to take you back kind of after the 2023 season. JMU finishes the regular season. What are you aware that Kurt's kind of interviewing, or like was there anything in the locker room? Like what was kind of the mindset of the players, and what did you kind of become aware of that Indiana was a possibility?
Yeah, so towards the end of the year, there's definitely some rumors on Twitter and stuff. Everyone was talking about that he was taking calls or doing something, and then it was crazy. People were like even tracking his flight. I remember they tracked his flight all the way to Bloomington and stuff, and then like that next day or something, we were about to have a team meeting, and then like it got announced on Twitter. And then he came in and just basically told us, I got to take this job at Indiana. This was best for me. And then kind of went from there. But, yeah, and before that, yeah, people were tracking his flights, all rumors all on Twitter and stuff. So it was kind of crazy.
Top left to Pete, and then to Daniel.
Yeah, Elijah, I'm curious, what do you do in terms of getting amped for a game, pumped for a game? Like listen to music? Do you watch Gladiator? What do you do to get ready for a game like that?
Yeah, big music guy. I try not to be locked in all day. So, like in the mornings, I'm just chilling. Throw on Rod Wave is always the first person I turn on just because he's chill. He's a chill like rapper. Not too hype. And then I throw on some gospel a little bit just to keep me calm. Thank the Lord and everything. But as we get closer to the game, I have this playlist that I have right when we get to the stadium, and then I go out for my own little pregame warm up. That's when I turn it on, and then just from there it's just locking in and then just embracing the moment. I take a couple deep breaths when I'm on the field, look at the stadium, embrace the moment, and then from there I'm ready to go.
Always the same playlist?
Yeah, always the same playlist. I add and like take stuff out of it if I'm listening to it or not listening to it. But yeah, it's the same playlist.
Stay front left to Daniel, and then Ravi.
When did you become a good jump ball wideout, and how do you try to build hand strength? Because it appears you have extremely strong hands.
Yeah, for real, I've always been pretty good at jump ball since I've been in high school. I just naturally been good at it, been able to adjust my body and stuff. But just blessed with that ability. Hands wise, really just the amount of catches I catch a day and the amount of work I put in. Really, that's all it is. A lot of after practice, I'm getting catches in. I don't really do too much like strengthening hand stuff and all that, but just catch footballs. That's really it.
How many do you try to catch each day?
I always get at least 100 after practice, and then in between practice, I don't really count. But like if I'm just sitting around while we're in special teams or something, I go with the quarterbacks and catch some passes. So just try to accumulate as much as I can.
Go front left to Ravi, and then Alexa.
So you went to Fernando at some point, there was a story out there, and looked at some of the back shoulder throws from some NFL guys and said, let's put this in. Take us through that sort of, which NFL guys did you see? Why did you think, hey, we can add this? And kind of take us through the conversations with Nando and kind of how that played out.
Yeah, so it was Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams to be specific. I've always since I've been watching Devontae Adams and since he's been with Aaron Rodgers, he's done a great job of just getting a release off the ball, and then like around 12, 14 yards, Aaron Rodgers is throwing a laser and he just falls out and it drops in the bucket. And I tend to win off the line more times than not, so I felt like I had a good chance of it. Now I know like Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, that's like a whole nother level that I someday will pray I can reach to. But since it's Fernando, he was with it. On that same day after practice, we got a couple reps in, just trying to work it, just be similar with how they were looking with it, and then just went from there. And then just communication after that. I try not to be picky. I just try to tell him to like just let me get my hands on it, and he does a great job of putting it on the money, and then we just go from there.
Was that something? Was that in from week one, or did that?
No, it wasn't in from week one actually. I forget when it was. Maybe towards as we got closer to that Illinois game is when I sent it to him, and then from there we just kind of like remind each other about it and go from there. Yeah.
Top right to Alexa and then Josh.
Elijah, as you guys prepare, Coach Signetti has said, we're treating this like we have every week, and it's something that you have done through the playoff, and it's worked. So how have you guys been able to do that, and what do you think he's been able to impart in you so that you have been able to kind of come in calm, cool, collected?
Yeah, just really, like you said, just keeping things the same, eliminating the clutter as we always do, and just keeping things in the locker room. We understand there's going to be a lot of talk on social media about how big the game is, how big the moment is, but like we're really treating it like any other game. Like that's what you have to do. You don't want to make the moment bigger than it is. We understand it's a national championship and a lot of people are going to be watching, but we're going to treat this practice week the same. Our mentality is going to be the same. We're just going to try to go in, work every single day up until leading up to that game.
Staying right with Josh and then Joe.
Kind of going back to 2023, when you had a conversation with Coach Sig, do you remember it at all? Do you have any recollection of it? And how happy are you that it worked out?
When I came on my visit here?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I remember same thing like he always is. Walked in the office here, his feet's kicked up, he's chilling. He's like, "How do you like it here?" We're chopping it up. He's asking me what other visits I wanted to. I told him that he didn't really like that answer. And then we just kind of talked. He was like, "This is the place for you. You know I'm going to take care of you. You know I'm going to get you the ball. And you're cool. You know the strength staff and everybody." And that's kind of all I needed to hear. He told me about Kurt. He said how good Kurt is, how good he think he is, which Kurt it lived up to that and more. And just went from there. After shaking his hand and stuff, I knew it was the best fit for me, just with the comfortability and the familiarity and everything.
Front row to Joe and then Zach B.
Signetti's talked about, changing the way people think and, like you mentioned, eliminating all the noise and clutter.
Mm-hmm.
For you personally, what goes into, how do you train your mind to get to that point?
Yeah, it's really a daily process, and really believing what he says. When he says don't pay attention to all the outside noise, you actually have to try not to do it. Since the Big Ten championship, I deleted Twitter each week just because I try to really embrace what he's saying and not really worry about what everyone else is saying. But just a daily process of listening to what he's saying and then really believing in it and asserting it to yourself.
Zach B and then Eli.
Coach Sig said yesterday that this group, out of every team he's ever had, is the best at taking the message that he gives and then putting that onto the field. So why are you guys so good at that? What makes you the best at that?
Yeah, I think we got a great group of vets around. Just a great group of vets that have been there, done that, and we believe what he's saying. Like, we understand what he's saying has been working. So vets have been a great job of keeping us in the moment, keeping the young guys on their toes and everything. And just it really hasn't been too hard. Like, we understand our goal and we understand how we're going to get to our goal, and it's just by doing what we've been doing, staying in the moment.
We'll go Eli, and then we'll take one question from Zoom to Lou.
Elijah, obviously Miami's run defense very, very prominent this season. I'm just kind of curious. I know it's kind of a broad question, but if it gets to a point to where the running game can't get going more for you guys to have opportunities outside, if it gets to that point, how comfortable, confident are you feeling if it gets into that situation where Mendoza can drop back and find you guys more?
Yeah, I'm always comfortable when you got someone like Fernando back there throwing you the ball. And then, of course, I believe in myself and the guys in the receiver room with me. So I'm always confident no matter who we're going against, no matter if it's Miami, no matter if it's Indiana State. So very, very confident in my beliefs. I understand it's going to be a challenge, of course. They're a great team. They're in the national championship for a reason. But I always go into every game being confident.
All right, go ahead and wrap us up, Lou.
Elijah, you've answered this to some degree since I raised my hand with the question, but you talk a lot about blocking out the noise, but you can't ignore what it is. And if you look over your shoulder, you'll see the national championship banner all over the place. But in your quieter moments with yourself, do you ever talk to yourself and just say, "This is kind of fun that we're here and we're doing this"? And that we are playing for a national championship. You actually have those moments for yourself without external noise.
Yeah, 100%. Especially just these last couple weeks, knowing that it's my last couple weeks here in the facility here in Bloomington playing with this team. I've definitely, like, when I'm home talking to my mom or dad, my brothers, I'm like, dang, like it's just crazy how everything works out. Like, just to be here in this moment, yeah, it's definitely exciting. I'm trying to be calm because I understand, like, it's like nothing really matters too much unless we win that game. But I definitely, these last couple weeks, I've been like, man, like, just playing in the big bowl games that we have, Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, all that. It's been very, very cool just growing up watching these games, watching legends playing these games, and then for allowing me to make some plays and see my guys make some plays in these games. It's been pretty exciting.
Great. Thanks, Elijah.
Sure. Thank y'all. Have a good one.